What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So there's a lot of people that complain about how Tesla is really noisy in the cabin. And there's a lot of kits on Amazon that you can purchase to reduce some of this noise. There's kits that allow you that uses pieces of rubber to seal the doors, the frunk, some of the pillars, and the trunk and the frunk. And there's another kit that's basically a huge rubber band that wraps around the top of your roof to reduce some of the gaps between the panels so that none of the wind noise can get through. I've actually made a video testing these kits before and after, so I'll paste a link below to that video so you can check it out. And there's actually really only a 2 to 3 decibel difference after my scientific testing using the app on my phone to record the decibel meters inside the cabin. Well, there's actually another product that I found that can reduce some of the noise, and it's a trunk mat that covers the roof of your trunk. And also I found a Facebook group in one of the Tesla Model 3 groups that a guy basically purchased some more rubber sealant to cover all the gaps in the front windshield of the car, but he didn't have enough to cover the roof of the car. So in this video, I actually purchased both of those items, the rubber pieces to cover the gaps and the trunk mat. We're gonna do an unboxing and install, and then I'm gonna do a test beforehand to see what the decibel meters is in the cabin at certain speeds with the door seal kit and the roof kit, and then do a test after front windshield rubber pieces are installed and the trunk mat is installed as well, to see if there's actually a sound decibel difference in the cabin after installing these products. Let's get into the video. So what this kit does is, what the user on Facebook noticed is that on his BMW, there isn't this gap as there is here on the Tesla windshield. It's this 3M rubber that basically he used to cover this whole windshield at the top, and then ran it along the top of here as well. He ran out of material, so he didn't actually cover this section as well. So I bought 2 of these kits, so I'm gonna try and cover as much as I can using this stuff to cover these gaps between the windshields. The other kit that I found off of Amazon was, you notice in the trunk there isn't necessarily this foam padding as there is up here. So someone made a kit that you can purchase to install that same foam or material on the roof so that hopefully it can reduce some of the sound as well. So far I've done the sides of the front windshield, the top of the front windshield, both sides of the roof, and the last part I'm gonna do is back window piece right here, or the back part of the windshield, or the back part of the moonroof, or the sunroof, and then that should be good. I don't know if I wanna do all this back here, because that is one long curved piece. I'm probably gonna mess that up. So in terms of this rear trunk piece, it looks like it's one piece that is just 3M tape that sticks on like the back right here to cover this part. And then, if you can see that, and then another piece up that covers up here with some screws that they've given us that covers up here. So I doubt this is gonna do anything to reduce some of the noise reduction, but we'll install it anyways and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so of course the screws that it came with didn't really fit in the holes. So this is kind of what it looks like if you guys can see. It's covering all the metal parts. You can see in the middle it's sticking down a little bit low because there is nothing to hold that in place while we do our testing to see if it actually makes a difference with inside the sound cabin for sound coming from the trunk. But yeah, those are the 2 kits. I'll paste a link below to both of those front windshield rubber pieces and the trunk felt covering that you can align your trunk with. I'll paste the links to both of those below so you can check them out on Amazon. So we're gonna go and do a test to see if these 2 modifications, the front windshield rubber pieces, the roof rubber pieces, and the trunk mat, actually make a difference with the interior cabin decibel noises. Thanks for watching another video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I got this Model 3 a few months ago, and I make videos about my experience, including a weekly autopilot video in Los Angeles traffic. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. All right, so what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna first try and drive at 40 miles an hour to see what type of decimal reading we're gonna get, and then 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and finally 70 miles an hour. Super bright out. Okay, so in this first section, we're gonna try and hold 50 miles an hour. Alright, so I guess we'll just do tests of 55 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, and 75 miles an hour. So that first one was 55 miles an hour. It was a max of 70 decibels, 64 average, and a minimum of 62. So let's try and see if we can get up to 65 miles an hour and hold that speed, and go. Okay, that was until this exit. That was 65 miles an hour, basically the same, max of 69 decibels, average of 66 decibels, and a minimum of 65. So slightly higher minimum, but essentially the same at 65 miles an hour on this highway section of the road. I'm going to drive the same exact road and try and replicate the same speeds, hopefully the same traffic conditions, so we can go the same speeds as well, and to see what type of decibel readings we can get. We're going to have to wait until there's a little bit more room to go 75 miles an hour, and then we can see what type of decibel readings, so we can see what type of decimal readings we can get at 75 miles an hour. Typically, most of the noise comes from like inside the cabin because you can hear the noise from the road a lot more. You can hear the wind noise coming through the front of the windshield, kind of the top, a little bit, but only at higher speeds. At 50 miles an hour, you really can't hear any of the wind noise through these side areas, through the sides of the windshield. Okay, so this next section we should be able to get to 75 miles an hour, and we'll see starting right about now. So there's that, not so much difference whatsoever. That was basically a 73 max decibel with a 65 average and a low of 62. In comparison to before we had all this stuff on the car, the max decibel was a 71, average of 67, and a min 64. So before we added the rubber pieces and the trunk mat, the max decibel inside the cabin was 71, the average was 67, and the minimum was 64. After we threw everything on, the max was even higher at 73, probably because we hit some random bumps, but the average was 65, which was 2 decibels lower, and the minimum was actually 62, which was also another 2 decibels lower as well. So in this scientific test, the front windshield, rubber pieces, and the roof lowered the cabin by give or take another 2 decibels. So if you can deal with the look of the rubber pieces, because it doesn't necessarily line up correctly and you have to kind of figure out where you want to connect the L's or the corners, if 2 decibels is worth it to you and you can tolerate that look of it not being completely OEM, then it might be worth it to you. I might redo it so I just have one long piece along the side all the way to the back window, and then have the middle one connect between the two so it's not as clunky. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Hit that like if you enjoyed it, and comment below on what you think about the new added rubber pieces on the front windshield, the rooftop, and the trunk. I might sell the trunk one because it's kind of clunky and it's not necessarily sticking too well. Probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference besides looking aesthetically pleasing in the trunk. So hit me up if you're interested in that piece, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.